Welcome to the first ever edition of Unscripted. I'm Bob Green from the soon-to-be award-winning broadcast NewsStalker, which can be heard at newsstalker.com Monday through Friday, 10 p.m. on the East Coast, 7 o'clock on the West Coast, and somewhere in between in the rest of the country. And internationally, whenever. We have listeners from countries all over the planet, and we appreciate that. Today, for the first ever edition, I want to talk to you about terror. I mean, what is terror? When you think of the word terror, it's just a fear. It's a overwhelming fear of something that could happen at any minute. I mean, when I was a kid, terror was the fear of peeing my pants at school, getting beat up in the playground, or getting an erection at a uncomfortable moment. I mean, for kids nowadays, their general fears or terror are peeing their pants in school, getting beat up on the playground, or, well, you know, the other one. Well, there's a new one, too, because they can't avoid it on the news. They're constantly hearing about this terror from the Middle East. These people, these terrorists, these, you know, it's not all Muslims. I mean, it's just some, but it's the extremists, and boy, they want to kill us. They want to get over here and kill us so bad, and the only solution is to completely take away all of our freedoms and all of our money. Yet those in power, and I don't mean the president or anybody that works in Washington, they're on the lower end of the strings. I'm talking about the people that are manipulating the Washington puppets. They've already taken our money. They've already taken away most of our freedoms, yet we're still given this fear of terror. It was Al-Qaeda. It was the Taliban, as George Bush almost kind of pronounced it right. Now it's this new group called ISIS, ISIL for shizzle, as we like to call them, or on the broadcast I refer to them as ISNT, ISNT, the Islamic State of naughty terrorists. The point is how much of this fear are we going to take before we just say, you know what, let's just let them loose. Let's just get it over with. How about if we have our Constitution back, we have our freedoms back, let's get some airplanes. If they want to kill the American people, which I don't really necessarily believe that they do. I think they have a problem with our government. The American people don't go over to the Middle East and meddle, do regime changes, do drone strikes. And this is not a Republican-Democrat issue. That's been proven time and time again. Everything Bush was doing, Obama is doing. And it's going to continue. It doesn't matter who the next president is, whether it's Hillary Clinton, just the thought, or anyone else. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to be business as usual for terror, for the business of fighting terror, because fighting terror is a business. I mean, you need weaponry, right? Always got to have the latest, greatest weaponry. How many billions are we spending on drones now? And who knows what the next weapon system is going to be? To fight what? To fight terror. Is all this weaponry going to stop kids from worrying about peeing their pants in school? The general terrors of the day? I mean, are we all going to get beheaded? Is that the concern? That over 300 and some million people will be beheaded by some asshole British dude in a black hooded? I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen. Yet, that's supposed to be our number one concern, because these people are so brutal. They're so brutal, they beheaded a couple journalists. It's horrible. It's horrible that happened. It's a disgusting, horrible, violent thing. But is violence something that they own, and there's no violence that we have fears of right here in our own country? I mean, we have murders, we have rapes. We used to have serial killers and street gangs. We don't seem to have those anymore. You ever notice since Obama became president, all of a sudden we don't have street gangs anymore? Isn't that kind of weird? Anyway, so now, because of the violence of Israel, which, by the way, I mean, on our show, if you've listened, we've read stories about American people who have done horrifically terrible things. I mean, we've had people that have been dragged behind trucks and killed because of their sexuality. We've had people who have been attacked because of their color from one side to the other. It's black, white, black, whatever the reason. We read a story recently about a young man and young woman that were abducted. The young man was brutally raped and killed. in horrific ways. The young lady was brutally raped and tortured for even longer. She had bleach poured down her throat. She was stuffed in a garbage can. We also had a story of a young girl who was killed and stuffed in a garbage can because a young boy wanted her bicycle. So Izzle for shizzle or isn't? This new terrorist group they're so violent that we need to spend trillions of dollars and we need to take away even more freedoms because I'm supposed to be afraid of them there coming over here and doing 300 and some million beheadings. I don't think so. I mean, are you afraid of me? You don't know my religion. You don't know my ideology. Are you afraid of me? I mean, I have a beard. I mean, what if I were to take this white cloth and put this on my head? Okay, now I've got a white cloth on my head. Now what if I were to start speaking in Arabic? Marhaba, mashalami. Would that scare you? Well, okay. Well, what if I was Al Qaeda? You'd say, well, I'm not afraid of Al Qaeda. They're on the run. Media says, the president says they're on the run. Well, what if I was Taliban? Taliban, that's so yesterday. I'm not worried about the Taliban. But oh my God, ISIS. You put a guy with a white rag on his head and a beard and say he's from ISIS, and all of a sudden he is so scary. I'm so willing to give up all my money and my freedom. Please, Mr. President, please protect me from ISIS, Izzle for shizzle, isn't, whatever it is. Bottom line is, it doesn't matter what the branding is. It's all they've done is change the branding because we weren't as afraid of the other groups. Now they have this new branding. It's this new group, Izzle, ISIS, Izzle for shizzle. We're supposed to be so afraid of them that we're going to be willing to give up more freedoms and more money. I say no. I say if this terrorist group is real, we've got airplanes, we've got ships, we've got ways to transport them. Let's give them free passage to the United States. All of them, every single one of them. Let's take them on. Mano a mano. Mano a mano. Let's get it over with. Because we can't live in fear anymore. The fear isn't real. The fear is manufactured. The media plays their part. The media, they're the producers. The government is the director, and we're getting this continuous fear porn. Well, let's just not be afraid anymore. They're going to do what they're going to do. Let's have our freedoms instead. Let's have our money instead, and let's take the power away from the puppets in Washington. I'm Bob Green, and I'm unscripted.